Who among us doesn't love to travel, especially to foreign countries we've never been to before? But listen, what you don't know can wind you up in jail. Welcome to another episode of the Silly Laws and Stupid Criminals YouTube series and podcast channel. We count down the days, we mark our calendar, and then one day finally it's time to pack and get ready for our international trip. And finally, that magic moment finally arrives. We step across the threshold, we board the plane, we find our seats. Anticipation builds. Pew Research finds that 76% of Americans have visited at least one country, with 50% visiting up to 4 different countries. We dream of it, we plan for it, we save for it. Our overseas adventures become some of our most cherished memories. But if you're planning on visiting Estonia, Italy, or Switzerland, there's things you need to know to keep yourself out of jail. Estonia borders the Gulf of Finland and the Baltic Sea and was formerly part of the Soviet Union. Estonia features more than 1,500 islands, a diverse span of rocky beaches, castles, churches, hilltop fortresses. In 2023 alone, nearly 4 million tourists visited Estonia, and an estimated 1.2 million visited its capital, Tallinn. And should you plan a trip to Estonia, and especially if you plan to visit their capital city, there's something you need to know so that you don't wind up behind bars. In the capital city of Tallinn, it is illegal to play chess. Wait for it, wait for it, while having sex. Over 75 million tourists visit Italy annually, and considering that over half the world's population is men, there's something you need to know before you pack for the next trip to Italy, especially if you're of Scottish descent. Scotland's recorded history began with the arrival of the Roman Empire in the first century. When you think of Scotland, it conjures thoughts and images of bagpipes, craggy rock cliffs, the Highland Games, and yes, the earliest written evidence of kilt-like garments being worn dates back to 1582 in the publication of the History of Scotland, but they're worn even today, especially at special events like weddings, cultural events, and yes, the aforementioned Highland Games. But no matter how macho of a man you are, if you're an American of Scottish descent traveling to Italy, it is illegal for you to wear something the Italian authorities consider to be a skirt, and you will wind up in jail. Drawn by dramatic alpine scenery, snow-capped mountains like Matterhorn and Mount Pilatus, the castles, the folklore festivals, and of course the cheese and chocolate, over 2 million tourists annually visit the country of Switzerland. But here's a little known fact they don't know. It is actually illegal to flush a toilet at night in the country of Switzerland. International travelers, you're welcome. This has been another episode of Silly Laws, Stupid Criminals. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your host, Philip Macko, host of the YouTube series and podcast. And I hope you'll join me on next week's session. I hope you'll click the thumbs up button, and I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you have an excellent day.